Okay, today we're going to start video number 2 of your server-side um, assignment. On the starter video, we set up the starter kit files, wgetted them into here. We installed MySQL Server, installed PHP 5 and PHP 5-MySQL. Then we skipped this part, and this part, and we went down and did the database part. We did MySQL, created a database called serverside. Let's go back today and do the URL part. So what we're going to do is we've got our terminal up, and the way you do that, now if you go into his instructions here, I think it's right there already, yeah. Notice he says sites enabled 000 default. Let's go to cd/etc Apache2 sites enabled and do a directory listing, and look, the default 00 default is actually a symlink to sites available. So where you have to actually edit it is cd. And then there it is. Now this is what I have added. I added it right at the very beginning, and because it doesn't say name virtual host above it, that means it's an IP-based virtual host. There's the IP, and you have to put in server name, but it really doesn't do anything. I mean, I don't have IT4200 dot blah 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 set up.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's right. But document root is critical, and so it's saying, well, when you're going to go to this IP address, go look in this subdirectory. Now, down here, as you can see, he wants these two things plugged in there, so there they are, right inside of this virtual host. And so the next step is, then you want to go to cd/var/www, and then you want to create that directory server-side. Make sure it's got the 755. Okay, then you go into your server-side, and you'll have to create a mock-up web page. Make sure it's got the 775 or 755 access. Now mine, I'll show you. Oops. That's it. And I put in this at the end, the default of server side, so that, you know, Apache 2 automatically has this it works thing in. So I wanted to make sure we knew we were going to the right place by adding that. So I'll exit that. Once you set up the directory and that default, then you have to do A2 SITE default. Now notice it says site default disabled. Now you have to do A2 nsite to re-enable the default. Okay, enabling site default. Now to activate it, you do the service Apache 2 reload, and the reload means go back and read the configuration files again. Okay, now could not reliably determine the server blah 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 because I don't have a fully qualified domain name. We don't care. So now in theory, if we go into cd/etc Apache sites enabled and look at it, now you've got that symlink again. That means it's been re-enabled, and so in theory, because we've already set up the directory server side, because we've already put an index.html in, if we go to that IP address, there it is, and I'll read. And notice I didn't put /serverside /index-side HTML because that's set up in the default. If anytime you go to that IP address, this is where it's going to end up. It automatically goes into server side, it automatically loads the index.html, and this is the proof of that. So there's our second video. To be continued.